Ladies and gentlemen, it's very rare that I talk about the TWAB here on YouTube, but to be honest with you, and for lack of a better term, the TWAB that we got today is a meaty boy. So today, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to talk about this bad boy. We got a lot of information to go over, timestamps down below if you're interested. Sit back, relax, grab a snack, maybe tickle the subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's just go ahead and jump into it. We got a lot of information to cover. So first things first, Bungie talks about power leveling. As always, whenever we get a new season, we get a new DLC, we have new levels that we need to reach. Currently, the max level in Destiny 2 is 1330. That is the level that you reach after getting all of your pinnacles. And here on screen right here is Bungie's definitions for pretty much everything in terms of terminology for leveling. You know, you have the floor, which is the lowest power level that you can get. You have the soft cap, which is basically whenever you get blue gear and work your way all the way up to where getting blue gear doesn't upgrade you anymore. And then you have the power cap, which is after you grind your powerfuls and then reach that top level. And then you have the hard cap, which is after you grinded all of your pinnacle gear and you are the max level in the game. Now, Bungie goes on to say that starting on February 22nd, whenever the Witch Queen finally drops, every single player is going to be at the power floor of 1350. That is the lowest possible power level that you can be in the game. So even if you have never played Destiny before and you log in, that is going to be the minimum level. The current minimum level in the game is like 1100. So the new floor is going to be 1350, and anyone can hop into the Witch Queen campaign literally right whenever they start up the game. Now they say that the soft cap is going to be 1500. So that is the level that you can reach by getting just blue gear as you play the game, and then you'll be able to get to, you know, from 1500 to 1550 by grinding your powerfuls, and then to 1560 by doing your pinnacles. Now, what Bungie does say here is that they're going to be adjusting some of the pinnacle and the powerful sources in the game. They say that you need to keep an eye on some of the tooltips as you start completing activities, because from the sounds of it, it sounds like they're going to be changing what activities are going to give powerfuls, what activities are either going to give pinnacles or no longer give pinnacles. So definitely do keep your eyes out for that whenever you do start this DLC. Now, moving on from there, Bungie decided to talk a little bit about blue gear. I think we all have had our own fair share of blue, you know, rarity gear horror stories where we have our shards get pushed out of our postmaster or our prisms or just important stuff that we have there because we're just getting too much blue gear and nobody wants it. Basically, Bungie's solution to this problem is that blue gear is going to stop dropping from playlist activities once you reach the soft cap. Do keep in mind that until you reach the soft cap, blue gear is what helps you level up. Now, once you do get the soft cap of 1500, you will instead see a increased chance of getting legendary rewards, and you'll also be able to get a small amount of legendary shards on occasion as well. Now, you will still be able to get blue gear in Destiny. Blue weapons and armor will drop from enemies that you kill, they'll drop from chests that you open, but they will no longer drop from activities, and Bungie says that this will hopefully kind of, you know, soften the blow of just getting too much blue gear as a whole. And then they go on to say that they are looking into ways to, you know, tweak blue gear, make it more important in the game, make it not as obnoxious and everything in between, but currently it's not on the horizon. You know, something that's going to happen a few seasons from now. A lot of people, myself included, were hoping for a auto dismantle system. You know, you can just keep the blue gear in the game, and then every single time that we get it to drop for us, it can just be auto dismantled. This isn't the case with this fix, but it should hopefully make blues not as annoying. Now, moving on from there, Bungie talks about a Gunsmith vendor rework. They say that Banshee 44 is going to be getting a new reputation system that's going to be similar to Zavala, Shaxx, and the Drifter, and that the current way of getting Gunsmith reputation, like the materials, the Gunsmith materials, and the telemetries, are basically just going to be removed. And they say that if you do want to earn reputation with the Gunsmith, you can get reputation rank by dismantling legendary and exotic weapons and armor, and by doing daily Gunsmith bounties. They also say that mod components, which was a big part of getting mods from people like Banshee and Ada, are actually going to be removed from the game to kind of make the whole currency situation not as convoluted, and you'll be able to purchase mods for 10,000 Glimmer instead. And they also say that for vendors that do have mods available, they're going to be doubling the amount of mods that they can carry from 2 to 4. So for those of you guys that are missing Protective Light, for example, which is the best mod for in-game PvE, you have double the chance to now get that mod because they're carrying more mods on the daily, which is a pretty good change for quality of life, but that still doesn't put put the mod situation where we need it to be. I have a free-to-play account, I have a New Light account that I play on in my free time, and you literally don't have like any scavengers or any like, you know, really important mods that are like super basic in the game, and it's a really big annoyance to get your hands onto those, especially the ones like Protective Light and whatnot if you are a new player. A lot of work still needs to be done here, and just like with the blue rarity gear, it just seems like a big band-aid fix. Yeah, it's better than before, but it's not exactly where we need to be, but it's still a welcome change in my opinion. Now, speaking of vendor reworks, the Cryptarch Raoul is going to be getting a complete vendor rework in the Witch Queen, as he is going to be taking on the role of Spider inside of the tower. Of course, as we know, the Tangled Shore is going to be getting sunset, and basically Raoul is going to become the new Spider. Bungie also says that Raoul will also be selling enhancement prisms and ascendant shards, and this is to make space for the new mod slots that those vendors are going to be carrying to allow for double the mod capacity. And then they finally say that Master Raoul will be able to decrypt Umbral engrams, but will not be able to focus Umbral engrams. So if you have a shit ton of Umbrals in your inventory, and let's say you're at the tower, you're also decrypting primes, and you don't want to focus your Umbrals, like you don't need anything from that, and you just want to get rid of them, you can decrypt them at Master Raoul and just dismantle what you get, or keep it if it's a god roll. So welcome change here, but I kind of wish that they would just put the Umbral decoder next to Raoul, kind of like they did with the Drifter in Season of Arrivals. Would definitely help when needing to go from, you know, the helm and tower back and forth, but again, it seems like another band-aid fix in this case. You know, a lot of this seems kind of half-assed in my opinion, but I would rather have it than not have it, so again, it is a welcome change. Now, moving on from the vendor reworks, we finally got a release date for the new Witch Queen raid, and this is going to be on March 5th of 2022 at 10 a.m. Pacific, which means that this raid is going to be taking place the week after Witch Queen releases on that weekend, so it is going to be on a Saturday, so plenty of people are going to be able to raid this time, just like with Deepstone Crypt and just like Vault of Glass, so go ahead and get those sick days called in, because the raid is coming on a Saturday. Now, speaking of the raid and the importance of day one, Bungie actually had a few things to say about bounty prepping. What they say is that Iron Banner bounties will not be removed at the end of the season. Bounties that are acquired and completed at any point during this season will be retained after the Witch Queen releases, but there are some caveats. If you are holding some bounties from Hunt, Chosen, Splicer, or Lost, you know, that content is going away, so the bounties will be going away as well. Tangled Shore is going away, so you won't be able to keep those bounties, and you know, just kind of like some caveats here and there, stuff that we already know. There's really going to be zero changes to bounty prepping, like, you know, from how we've done in the past. Pretty much no changes coming here, nothing that we didn't already know. Bungie's already clarifying that we're basically be able to do the same stuff that we've been doing for years at this point. Now, although this big block of text is mainly talking about bounty prepping, Bungie drops a subtle little piece of information that is, well, something that we've been waiting on for a long time. They say, additional note, these bounties, talking about Iron Banner bounties, will be removed at the end of Season 16, which is the next season, as Saladin will be taking his turn in our rollout of vendor rework. So keep in mind that 3 months after Witch Queen launches, whenever we get the next season afterwards, we will finally be getting that Iron Banner loot rework that we have all been wanting. For those of you guys, you know, that remember whenever Trials got reworked, it was an absolute fantastic thing, and went from being a, you know, really awful activity, especially loot wise, to going to one that absolutely showers you in loot. And I'm very excited to see, you know, what they do for Iron Banner, and to hopefully make Iron Banner exciting again. So they're confirming that the season after Witch Queen, we are getting that Iron Banner rework. Now, moving on from there, let's talk about some more Sunset stuff. With HAWKMOON and Dead Man's Tale, you know, we have Harbinger and we have Presage. Both of those missions are going to be going away, and the way that you are going to be able to obtain HAWKMOON and Dead Man's Tale in the next season during Witch Queen is actually going to be part of Xur's inventory. They say that every week Xur will offer a unique role for both HAWKMOON and Dead Man's Tale, and they will be purchasable for all players that own Beyond Light for the following materials: 1 shard, 1 cipher, 125k glimmer, and 200 legendary shards. So make sure that you are checking Xur weekly to try to get something like a Vorpal DMT or a rangefinder HAWKMOON, you know, whatever is what you want. You know, Xur will have a randomly rolled one of those every single weekend. Now, the last thing that Bungie talks about here on the TWAB is actually some exotic catalyst. They say that the HAWKMOON DMT and Agar Scepter catalyst will be moved to the playlist activities like Strikes, Gambit, and Crucible, and they're also adding 3 other ones to that loot pool as well, in the form of Outbreak Perfected, Whisper the Worm, and finally 4th Horseman. They also say that Outbreak Perfected and Whisper the Worm have had their requirements changed so that you can complete the catalyst without needing to access their original activity. So a lot of really cool stuff in this TWAB from Bungie. The new power level info is basically, you know, just clarification on how power leveling is going to work. You know, what levels do we need to reach to before we start doing powerfuls and pinnacles. The Bungie solution to blue engrams thing, you know, no auto dismantle feature does suck, but they are giving a bit of a band-aid fix to make it not as bad. So it's not a complete fix, like it's not a complete change, but it is something that is better than nothing. Banshee is also getting a complete rework, which is good. Raoul is getting a complete rework, which is good. A little, you know, half-assed on the whole Umbral engrams thing. I wish we could, you know, decrypt our engrams there and actually focus them without going to the helm, but again, you know, it's better to have it than not. The raid release date came out as March 5th, which is nice. Bounding prepping is the same as always. Iron Banner is getting a rework, Season 17. And HAWKMOON DMT at Xur, exotic catalyst available, pretty good TWAB. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. I do apologize if my commentary was all over the place. It's very rare that I make YouTube videos without a script, and this is one of those, you know, few cases that I do. If you did watch all the way to the end, and if you watched this video at all, honestly, I appreciate the hell out of you. I don't do news videos very often, so I don't expect the video to do well, but I kind of wanted to start making TWAB videos, or at least talk about news that I personally am interested in, because I want to talk with you guys in the comments and, you know, see what my community has to say about it. You probably won't see me reporting on any like Crucible news or anything, but if Bungie ever says anything about Destiny as a whole, PvE, I'll probably be all over it. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below about the TWAB. Really good one if you ask me. And yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.